It's just extraordinary. Just coming to something else. I note, I want to raise this with you, and you don't have to answer if you like, but a couple of weeks ago, people like the New South Wales Treasurer, Matt Keane, called for you to be disendorsed. Now, from where I sit, and out there listening to us tonight, there are many die-hard Liberals cheering for you and believe that Matt Keane is the person, amongst others of your critics, who should be disendorsed. How do you feel about all this?
Well, look, the Liberals are a broad church, but I have the backing of Scott Morrison, Tony Abbott and John Howard.
Not a bad trifecta?
That's right. I have the backing of ordinary Australians everywhere who simply want to see common sense return to policy.
Well, tell me about these ordinary Australians, because in Warringah there are other issues which you've been addressing, because this lady's a highly intelligent woman. She's not a one-issue candidate. Take this issue of the cost of living and the gap between inflation, which we've got at 5% and a bit, and wages at 2% and a bit. How big is that as an issue in the electorate?
Look, I've been out on hustings and pre-poll almost every day of this campaign, and the issues that invariably arise are to do with cost of living. They're to do with housing affordability and scarcity, which Prime Minister Morrison is looking at alleviating some of the pressure there with his plan for home buyers to access a deposit through their super. It's to do with health services. It's to do with the Beaches Link Tunnel. People do want to talk about the sports issue, but invariably it's those issues that are facing people in their everyday lives that they want to talk about when they talk with me.
Yeah, just coming back to that important housing issue, I've been saying, Katherine, for some time, when you've got a 23, 25, 26-year-old paying off a HECS debt, that's the first thing, then they're renting, they've left home to rent, and then they've got to try and save a deposit. Now, the banks will only give you 80% if you're lucky, and if you've got a unit for $700,000, and you know that's hard to come by in Sydney, that's a deposit of $140,000. The notion of trying to get some money out of super certainly goes some way, does it not, towards alleviating the problem, but the problem's bigger than that, isn't it?
Look, it is a big problem, particularly in the Warringah electorate. We understand that the biggest barrier to home ownership and getting that money together is getting the deposit itself. It's not necessarily servicing the loan, but anything that can assist to help people get into their own homes. And we know that that is the basis for stability, security, personal prosperity in life. It's really critical that
we do what we can. Well, you can't have a
can.
Satisfactory retirement if you don't own your home, can you? I mean, paying rent and all the rest of it. Just on raising your three little girls and school, what kind of messages do they bring home to you? Because many people are writing to me and saying it's not education anymore, it's indoctrination. Does that worry you?
It absolutely does. It has come to my attention that my children don't even know what the First Fleet is or who Captain Cook is.
Correct.
Because, our history curriculum has been, learning about not just Indigenous history, but also modern Australian history has been set aside. And I think that seeing that these ideologies creeping into our schools, whether it's critical race theory, gender identity, things of that nature, it really doesn't have any place in schools.
Not at all. Listen, it's wonderful to talk to you. I think you're an absolutely outstanding candidate. I want to commend you on your courage, the clarity of your thinking on several issues. And I say to our viewers out there, Katherine Deves is merely saying that male athletes, amongst other things, and she said good things there on education, did she not, on housing, but that male athletes should not compete in the female sport category. If that is controversial, we are in trouble. She's the Liberal candidate in the Warringah electorate. I think she's got a big chance on Saturday, but if you want to make the vote on Saturday a referendum on this issue, I am urging you strongly to support Katherine Deves, the Liberal candidate in Warringah. I congratulate you, Katherine. There are many people watching you tonight who have a sense of immense pride for the stand you've taken and the courage you've taken in the face of very significant criticism. So hang in there. Good to talk.
Good evening, Alan. Thank you for your time.
You're most welcome. There she is, Katherine Deves.